Sometime in the middle of 2006, after months of signal intrusions, the audio interference flooding the tri-state area suddenly stopped. At the time, the infrastructure people relied on every day, local broadcast networks, emergency dispatch channels, and residential landlines, was considered secure and impenetrable. But a localized technical anomaly began bleeding into those systems, escalating from a minor glitch into a region-wide event the media labeled the beeping phantom. An anonymous entity had proven that even these secure personal lifelines were susceptible to external control. This oscilloscope captures the signature of the intrusion. It never varied. The signal always began with 3 precise, high-pitched metallic beeps. Immediately following those beeps, the transmission dropped into exactly 7 seconds of heavy, dead static. The pattern began replacing residential dial tones. Residents picking up their home phones to make a call would hear only the phantom's loop echoing in their living rooms. The intrusions then spread to secure emergency dispatch channels, where the static was used to mask incoming 911 calls. Eventually, the signal hijacked late-night television broadcasts across the tri-state area, overriding the scheduled programming entirely. Victims reported an intense dread, feeling as though the rhythmic audio pattern was a countdown or a proximity alert actively tracking their movements. The phantom used a technical glitch to initiate a mass psychological stress test, turning safe domestic environments into zones of perceived monitoring. When federal investigators and signal experts began taking the case apart, they confirmed this was not a simple over-the-air radio broadcast. The intruder was executing a physical fiber optic override, a method of physically bypassing network security at the hardware level. Looking at these dense blocks of telecommunication wiring, specialists confirmed the perpetrator was breaking into localized infrastructure and tapping directly into regional switching stations. Because the exploit was physical and highly localized, the phantom was able to operate as a mobile source, moving between relays to avoid detection. Sifting through these tangled network cables to execute a fiber optic hack without tripping a system alarm required surgical precision. This method left no digital footprint. There were no IP addresses for the task force to trace, only physical echoes in the real world. With the method established, the investigation shifted to 2 specific targets that matched the phantom's technical profile. The first lead pointed toward a mountain valley, suggesting an unauthorized broadcast originating from a decommissioned underground military installation. Triangulation data from local ham radio enthusiasts pointed to this valley, where multiple tracking vectors intersected at a single coordinate. Search teams discovered this abandoned Cold War-era concrete bunker. One lead was a ghost haunting forgotten infrastructure. The other was a technician with the credentials to bypass the very systems he once maintained. Inside the engineer's apartment, investigators found the walls plastered with complex radio frequency maps, but the suspect was gone. At that same moment, the mountain bunker also went dark, abandoned by whoever had been drawing power to the site. Immediately following these 2 events, the phantom's signature pattern vanished from all frequencies and never returned. The simultaneous disappearance of suspects and the signal itself left the task force with no physical evidence, turning the investigation into a permanent cold case. The 2006 incident demonstrated that regional phone and broadcast networks could be systematically overridden by a single operator with the right hardware. It left a lasting psychological scar on the public, as residents realized the technology connecting them could be used to isolate them. Even now, exactly 20 years later, the true identity of the phantom and their ultimate motive remain entirely unknown. The 20-year silence that followed the phantom's final transmission remains the investigation's most enduring result.